All the incredible education you got here and all the great wisdom that you got back there is gonna be tested now, but you're about to find out a lot of things are strange and not exactly. For example, you had the fortunate or unfortunate, depending on how one sees the world, to be growing up in an era that thought 8th place trophies was a good idea. I am on the side of it was not a good idea. It was incredibly well intended by all of them because they love you and you were super cute at 6. The problem is very early on, you were taught that losing is bad. It's so bad that when you lose, even if your team lost 14-2 in soccer, we're gonna give you a trophy. We were teaching you early on that be scared of losing. It's bad. Some of the parents back there actually, while you were going through grammar school and middle school and high school, went to school to fight the teachers to get your grade up. Let's not clap it up for the ones that did that. Right? In reality, my friends, especially as you go into this chapter, please fall in love with losing. Losing is good. Losing is fun. Losing is why I love the Jets. In that joke, and I appreciate the reaction, especially as the garden is on fire right now. And it feels very much like the year that I graduated high school in 1994 around here. There's a really interesting story in my sports fandom that I think you can take something away from. I grew up in the 80s, and in 1982, I picked my teams, and I was born in the Soviet Union, so there was no lineage. I kind of randomly picked it in Edison, New Jersey, when I moved there, and I picked the Yankees, the Jets, the Knicks, and the Rangers. The Rangers were the first to finally deliver in my senior year and win a Stanley Cup in this place in 1994. The Yankees followed up 2 years later and gave me my first World Series in 1996. That was fun, but here's the more interesting part of the story. The day after the Rangers and the Yankees won their championships, I stopped watching them. This is why I'm such a big Jets and Knicks fan. To me, the losing is the fun. The adversity is the fun. I can't even explain to you how much I believe in all of you because you haven't been affected. You're going in pure. You're going in audacious. Some of you think what you've done for the last 4 years has anything to do with what you're about to do. Bad news, it doesn't. Or good news, it doesn't. It depends how you're wired. What I'm worried about is, as much as I actually believe in you, the question is, do you believe in yourself? Many of you have played a game, especially for the last 8 years, that has come unbelievably natural to you. You have figured out the system to get the grades and the things needed to get to the game. The problem is that changes dramatically and is the other side of the pillow as you start tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow, when I was in your seats was the best day of my life. I was an atrocious student. My mom is super pumped that I'm standing here right now. She had dreams of me ever getting into something like this. They were not meant to be, but what they were meant to be was for me to be speaking to a group like this. The reality is that all of you are unbelievably capable of winning this game, but from the cliches of like adversity and grit and all that, it's super true. And here's the one thing that I want to make sure you leave with from this talk, and I'll leave with a couple other falsities, and then we'll keep this thing moving. The number one thing I want you to leave with is the value of this. This is the single most important business and life move that you can ever do, ever. Because what that represents, my friends, is the ability to listen to no one except yourself. Most of you, especially in the world that you grew up in, meaning social media and all this stuff, but kids, and many will tell you here, all the parents up there before social also lived a life where they overvalued the opinions of others. They overvalued the opinions of their parents, of their classmates, of their siblings, of the people that they admired. If I could give you a summer project, it would be to go to a retirement home and spend time with individuals that are in their 80s or 90s that are not your grandparents. I believe that if you actually spend 5 to 10 hours there, you will extract a very incredible insight. You will see what regret or not regret looks like. The only thing you need to focus on your next 100 years of living is that when you're $120, you don't say, I wish I. I wish I is scary. Please learn how to tune out the noise. They're gonna love you some days, they're gonna hate you some days. But you have to know yourself, and you have to start with being kind and empathetic and loving with yourself. Because if you're unable to do that, you will do it for nobody else.